hang out and it's for here. You are tuned in and the Zambury Talk Radio with my mommy Jessica Cancel.
Besos y abrazos a todo mi gente. You are tuned in to Exemplary Talk Radio with your girl, Jessica Cancel. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you're a new listener, if you're an old listener, I appreciate you supporting the station, and if you could just take it one step further and share it on your social media platforms, that will support it, get my word out there. So I really appreciate that. So appreciate it. So today, this podcast is going to be on scarcity versus abundance. Okay? When I was living with my first husband, I had said something to him that pissed him off. I was like, you know what? The reason why you always broke is because you always worrying about money all the time. Of course, it started an argument, and he ended up kicking me out, and I was like 6 months pregnant, but whatever, what I'm saying? Fast forward, and I ended up renting a house in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and the house was beautiful. It was a big Victorian house in the cul-de-sac, beautiful house, but whatever, I digress. So general curses are real, and when you grow up poor, you grow up with financial insecurities. You know what I'm saying? It's inevitable, especially if you don't know how to heal from that, because you got to heal from things. Any trauma that you incurred in your past life, and that could be last year, 10 years ago, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, you know what I'm saying? Your past life, anything that happens, you know what I'm saying? And it causes a trauma, you have to heal from that. Because if you don't heal from that, you're going to keep on going through the same things over and over and over. So healing is a must. So I definitely push for healing. You know what I mean? Asking God and praying, fasting, reading the word and learning, what God says about certain things. Because everything is in the Bible. Everything is said in the Bible, that any type of advice you need. Proverbs, Psalms, all the wisdom books, you know what I mean? All of those is in there, you know what I mean? So when you have that, you're going to be looking at money differently. You're going to hold on to it, and because you don't know when the next piece of change is going to come from. You don't feel worthy enough to have a certain job or career or make a certain amount of money. Some people even are scared of their own success. Come on now. And then they end up sabotaging themselves. It could be a success in a job. It could be a success in a relationship, because people do that too. The relationship would be going good, and what they do? Go ahead and sabotage it. They'll do some dumb stuff, start an argument. You know what I'm saying? Cheat, do some weird stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's too good to be true. Let me have sex with somebody else. Like, I've seen it. I've seen it happen. You know what I mean? And this is something that we have to grow out of. We have to grow out of this scarcity mindset where we don't feel good enough to have certain things. We don't feel good enough to live a certain lifestyle. You know what I mean? Because that's definitely not the life that Jesus died for us for. He died so we can live life and live it more abundantly. There are plenty of scriptures that show why God wants us. He doesn't want us to be miserable. He doesn't want us to be struggling and going through things that, he didn't intend for us. Now, of course, life ain't perfect. You know what I mean? So we're going to go through things in life. We're going to have hardships. We're going to have ups and downs. We're going to have trials and tribulations. And it's all testing of the spirit. You feel me? So when we go through things, we have to make sure that we put God first in everything that we go through, so that we can get through it with our sanity. We can get through it with our peace. We can get through it, you know what I mean? And not really have to do anything, because he will send people in to help you. And I've seen it plenty of times in my life, my best friend's life, and people like that I know. I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Prayer is real, you guys. So having a scarcity mindset is basically, it's like the opposite of having faith. You feel me? Like, you can't have a scarcity mindset and be scared and have fear about certain things and still, you know what I mean, and still have that abundant mindset that God wants us to have. Now, not all fear is bad, okay? There's fear of like the fight or flight response, and you find yourself in a situation and you have adrenaline that's pumped in your body that gives you like superhuman strength, and you're going to either run for your life or you're going to fight for your life. Either way, you know what I mean? So sometimes fear works in our advantage. It warns us to certain situations that might be dangerous, that might be a threat to us. So fear, if used properly, is a good thing. But having too much fear where it overshadows everything else, and that's the only focus, like, oh, I can't do this because I'm a woman, or I can't do this because I'm this or that, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? We can do anything because God, through him, anything is possible. Okay, there's nothing impossible for God. So it's a lot of things that we go through, right? That scarcity mindset pops up. You feel me? So let's say, like, in a relationship, you know what I mean? We're stuck in a relationship that we don't see a way out of, or we can't get out of, or we don't want to get out of because we don't want to be alone. We don't know, how long it's going to take for the next person to come along, if they're going to be right, are they going to come with issues and baggage, like what's going to be the problem, so we settle for certain people in our lives, you know what I mean? And that comes from scarcity. That comes from fear of being alone, fear of having to do things by yourself, fear of, being alone, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to be alone. Like God created Adam and Eve, right? So we're not supposed to be alone. So that fear, that scarcity mindset, that fear, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I can have what I want, so I'm just going to take what I have. That isn't good, because it puts us in unhealthy relationships, whether it be friendships, whether it be relationships with your lover. We could be family, co-workers. It doesn't matter. The relationship can come from whoever in your life. So we have to be very mindful of how we view certain relationships and how we view ourselves, and make sure that we see our worth. Because if we don't see our worth, like, oh, okay, well, I have to settle for this, that's going to come about. So we have to see our worth. Because when we do see our worth, we do things like negotiate and pay, ask for raises. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we know our worth as an employee, we stand on business. You feel me? That resume will speak for itself. And when you walk in there, that's it. You know what I mean? When you go in there and you showing that, to this employer that you are a good candidate for you getting a raise, or even asking for a promotion. You know what I mean? So these are things that we need to stop settling for. Being in broken relationships because we don't want to be lonely, because we are scared of being alone and nobody wants us because of what this person or what our past traumas done etched in our brain, what our parents told us when we was little, what other, previous relationships, people that we was in a relationships with them, the mental abuse that they put us through, and the things that they said, and things that we said to each other. It goes both ways. All of those is still there unless you healed from it. All of that is still there unless you heal from it. The fears are still there. We don't want to send our kids outside like that. Like, it took me so long. It took me so long to let my kids go outside by themselves. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I think we were living in the old house, which was probably like 2 years ago. So, yeah. It took me till my son was like 7 years old, 6 years old. I think 7. I think he was 7 years old, and my daughter was like 5 or 6. So it was 5, and I let them go outside, like on the patio. It was so scary. I was raised in Oakland. For the most part of my life, I was raised in Oakland. And I knew Oakland to be bad. When it wasn't until I got older that I realized how Oakland was bad, because I was in the streets. When I was home, when I was younger and I was home, I was sheltered. I didn't see that part of Oakland. You know what I'm saying? I go home, go to school, So when I got older, I saw that part of Oakland. But not knowing about Stockton and moving here, like, what, 4, 5, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and hearing so much about it, it was like, oh man, just like I'm about to move to another Oakland, to a little Oakland, you know what I mean? And I was scared. I was like, what kind of school my kids is going to go to, what type of people is around there, because I'm thinking about my kids, you know what I mean? And what happened to me when I was younger, I don't want them going to nobody's house. I don't know what y'all doing there exactly, right? I don't know what y'all doing over there. I don't know what they doing over there. I don't want my kids over there. I don't know the people. Like I literally will have to meet them and see what type of people they are. And no, you can't go in the house. You can play outside with them, but y'all can't go in the house. No, ma'am, no, sir. Not at all. I don't care how nice them people act. You're not going in the house unless I'm in there, So it's the fear, because of what happened, and it's not a bad thing, because healthy fear is a good thing. It keeps us out of dangerous situations. But you got to use it in balance. You have to use it in balance. You have to have discernment. You got to pray for that discernment. Ask God to give you that discernment, because that discernment is what's going to say, okay, well, is this situation safe or is it not safe? Can I let my children into this situation? Can I be in this situation? Shall I be around this person? Should this person be around me? Or how far can I take it with this person? How much in my life shall I let this person? All of these things is with discernment. When you have discernment and you have that and you're working in that, it won't scare you, because you are prepared for things. You're prepared for things. So there's no way that you're going to be in a situation where there's some type of fear that you may have, because why? You already have the discernment. You already know, okay, this situation ain't cool. If you know the situation ain't cool, you ain't going to enter into it, right? I mean, I would think so. I'm sorry. My daughter just knocked on the door and asked for a charger, and she got like 3 or 4 chargers in my son's room. Anyway, as I was saying, so yeah, you're going to use your discernment and stay out of a situation that you don't belong in. If you're not a firefighter and you don't have the correct equipment on, you're not going to rush into a burning building. I mean, unless your child is in there, of course, or somebody you love, but other than that, I mean, a lot of times people are not going to rush into a burning building, for no reason. You know what I mean? So discernment says, stay out of it. You know what I mean? So yeah, use your discernment, people. Ask God to give you wisdom, because he gives it freely, But I know it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be where, oh, okay, well, I got like $1,000 right now. I'm just going to spend $500 and get these, I don't know, what's $500? I don't know, an air fryer or something, some expensive equipment. Food equipment, kitchen equipment or something. And I don't know. Freaking air fryer, $500 air fryer, right? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so just like, don't be stupid. You know what I mean? God did give us common sense. Like I said, he did give us wisdom that we're supposed to have. And if we don't, we can ask him for it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be out there doing no dumb stuff. But yeah, my whole thing is this. My philosophy in life is that, money is, there's a reason for money. In the Bible, I believe it says that money is like a covering, it's for certain things. And it is, and it's never good not to have money. It's not. We shouldn't worship it though. And it shouldn't be something to where it's causing a disrupt in our life. You know what I mean? Setbacks happen. You know what I mean? And I'm saying this because when I quit my job and I had a plan set up to where I was going to be able to have money coming in still, and that didn't happen, that set me back so far. And I was like so disappointed and like, why is this happening to me? Do you understand what I'm saying? It was just like, no, this cannot be happening right now. Like, what the hell? Like, I got bills to pay, like this and this and that. So things just be like, I was just thinking like, no, this cannot happen. Like, now I'm over here like penny pinching and stuff like that, and stressing over things that I do not have control over. Like, if I only get a certain amount of money a month, and I know that my bills is a certain amount of money a month, I cannot sit there and worry about the bills that I cannot pay. It does not make sense. And you're going to sit there and you're going to look at me all crazy and cockeyed and stupid. And I'm telling you, it's the truth. It's the God to honest truth. Why are you sitting there worried about stuff that you have no control over? None at all. If you're doing your best, know that you're doing your best. That's all you can do. Know that you're doing your best. There's nothing that you can do other than what you've been doing. And if you know that you're doing the best that you can do, and you know you're putting your all into everything, let God do his job. Sometimes he don't even want you to do that. Sometimes he just wants you to sit back and have faith and be like, just chill. I got this. I'm telling you, because I've experienced it. You know, I mean, you got to feel yourself around people that carries the same yoke as you do. We should be light, which is Jesus' yoke. Okay? You have to be around like-minded people. You know, equally yoked people, so that you can encourage each other. You could edify each other. You could glorify God together on those days when you feel like everything is just too much. And, you know, when those days are just so overwhelming, just sitting there in prayer and praise. Not even prayer. Definitely prayer sometimes, but I'm just saying all the time. Not saying sometimes, but all the time. But just sitting there in praise does wonders. I'm telling you, it's been so times that I was like feeling so depressed, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, everything is just hitting me at once, and then I'll just sit there and it just something come over me, and I'll just start thanking God, and I'll start praising, and I'll start crying, you know, and my whole attitude towards everything about the whole situation would change just by being in praise and worship. You know, just, oh my gosh, I don't know. It just feels so good. You know what I mean? When you're covered by the Almighty, when you're covered by the Lord, and he's got you, and he's making promises to you, and he's owning up to them promises. But the flip side is that we have our side that we have to do too. We have our part that we have to do. We have our commandments that we have to listen to. We have his laws. Nothing changed, you guys. Nothing changed. You know, we ain't got to make sacrifices or nothing like that. But nothing changed. His law is still the same. The commandments still stand. Those 10 commandments are still the law. You know, certain things that we got to read Leviticus. We got to read certain things so we can know how to live. How God wants his people to live. Now, some people say that doesn't apply to us because we're not his Israelites. I'm going to have to get back to y'all on that because I don't know. But living close to what God intended and what God wills for us is the best way to go. You know, and like I said, I'm telling you by experience, this ain't no, this ain't no abundance. Like, oh, you're going to get blessed if you do this and, you know, buy a red scarf from me. No. All I'm saying that the peace that you get when you put God in your life and stop worrying about what you don't have and start focusing on what you do have and being grateful for the things that you have in your life, you start seeing your life as more abundant. You start seeing the blessings that you have in your life that you have never noticed before and even took time to realize it because you're living in this survival mode. So I get it. I know. Trust me, I definitely know. Like, it's hard. That's my experience. Anyway, you know, but I challenge you to change the way you see the world. Start being more generous to those around you because life is precious. And God didn't design such a beautiful world for us to live in fear and scarcity. So once we learn that the blessings that God put in our life, and I just feel his spirit with me right now. Like, you just don't know. I feel him with me right now. God is awesome, you guys. I'm telling you. Like, his presence in your life is going to be life-changing. You just don't know. You wouldn't have to lift a finger. I'm telling you, you don't have to lift a finger. So as a Christian, I'm reaching out to all my other Christians and challenging you guys. Put God first, y'all. Start putting God first. More and more. And stop letting our fears, stop idolizing the fears, because that's what we're doing. We're idolizing fear because we're putting the fear above God. Because if we trust God, if we have faith, those fears would be overcome so fast because we already know. God didn't give us a spirit of fear. So, yes, my challenge, change the way you think. Be more generous to life. Be more generous to yourself and those around you. Stop thinking that, oh man, it's my last $5 and, somebody come up and it could be, what you perceive to be a drug addict or a homeless person, alcoholic. Man, I'm hungry, and I just got this last $5. What you gonna do? Man, I don't know what he gonna do, man. I only got $5, this and that. Don't you got a job? You got more money coming in. Don't you got welfare? You know what I'm saying? You can help somebody out. And I'm saying that because that sounds crazy. Oh, you're on welfare. I'm over here getting welfare. I can't do nothing for nobody else. I could barely do for myself. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That scarcity mindset. Let that go. Let that go. I'm telling you, man. Life is more than money. And living outside your fears is so liberating. It's peaceful. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. I want to thank you guys. If you're here, you made it to the end. Wow, I made it to the end. Yeah, so I hope this touched somebody. I hope it does. I hope I'm able to reach at least one person, and share my truth with you guys. And hopefully you can share it with some other people and we get God's word just traveling around and, and have a whole big old God word train around here. I don't know, But God bless you guys. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I really do appreciate you guys taking your time out and listening to my podcast, because this is something that I really have a passion for. And so you guys listening to it and showing your support means so much. And I'm going to start doing other things. Like I said, I was going to do my YouTube. I got the YouTube channel up. I just haven't figured out how I'm going to do the recording. Because I got the little studio that I had. If you guys don't remember, I had a studio that I bought. And I still got everything for it. So I don't know if I want to set it up. How I'm going to set it up. If I'll just do the backdrop on the wall. Just throw some thumbtacks on that thing, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, But it's definitely to come, because I definitely do want to start doing videos. I also want to start doing guests on my show, too, to have people on, And I want, you guys to reach out, give me some feedback, like what type of topics you guys want to hear me talking about, And like I said, I'm all ears, and I would love to hear from you. So again, thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you guys being here. Besos y abrazos. I love you guys. I'm out.
Hello guys, Jada Best here to show my mommy support. Please like, share, and subscribe to Exemplary Talk Radio. Thank you.
Made it to the end. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you got some jewels from the program, and I hope that it was able to help you. And if it was, please do me a favor and share it with your friends and family so you can get the word out for me, and I will be greatly appreciated. Again, you're tuned in with Jessica Cancel here at Exemplary Talk Radio. God bless.